Hey guys, Crew Legacy here. The training continues. This week I finally made my decision, or at least the circumstances made it for me. I find myself playing Rogue and loving it way more than I thought, but something weird happened. As you can see from the screen, I am playing Rogue, yes, but not Assassination as I was expecting. I'm now playing Outlaw Rogue, which has been an amazing discovery. And I gotta being very honest, it's a discovery that was moved by the simulations that saw Outlaw Rogue on top for single target damage. And so I told myself, well man, shall we try? Yes, let's try Outlaw Rogue. And so I did, and fucking hell, Outlaw Rogue is hard as fuck. So let's go through what happened this week in the last few days, and then hopefully we can continue going on with our own plan. Alright? Okay, what happened this week? Well, this week I decided that I wanted to play Rogue. I wanted it to be a challenge. I wanted to be something tough, something hard. I wanted to learn a class and learn all the processes of min-maxing, improving, getting better, and so on and so forth. So I took on the internet, I started my research, and I found out that basically what I had to do was first of all, learning a rotation, then learning how to optimize the rotation, and then basically starting to set up all the things that would have helped me improving. Some of them being just consumables and potions and trinkets and whatever, and other things would have just basically practice and like understanding your positioning for stuff like blade flurry and so on and so forth, right? And I was very excited. I decided that I wanted to do that. I also decided that I wanted to document the progress. So every time that I did make progress, I wanted to have a video proving how much I improved. But then it turned out that the consumables and the enchants and stuff like that were crazy expensive. So way out of my league. As you can see, my bag is not that big, right? And so I decided, well, okay, fuck it. Let's just focus on what I can improve to become a good Rogue. Then eventually I'll have good gear and good consumables and enchants and so on and so forth. So on Wednesday, the raid was released. I did my fair share of raiding. I managed to complete the normal raid in the first hour and a half or so since the release. Well, actually it was the afternoon, but an hour and a half since I logged in. All right. So it went pretty smoothly and I did my stuff. I thought I was logging, but apparently I fucked up the process and I didn't save my logs. So that's an issue. I'm gonna be solving it in the future because I wanted to have a benchmark for my improvements, right? That's what I would like to do. So I want to have logs. And then we moved into heroic. Into heroic, we only managed to get the first one. Not because of the complexity, but rather because that was the moment when I decided to switch off of assassination and move on to outlaw, and I wasn't ready to go and just grieve 19 people playing in a class that I never played, being the Ekli Andy. And so yes, I took a step back and I decided that it was time to gear up the character, to do a few Mythic Zero, to do a few delves and started improving, and so I did. I managed to drop myself. This I dropped for the first boss in heroic, but I dropped this one. I managed to get 2 trinkets. They suck, but at least it's item level. And then I managed to get an armor, a back piece, and then I crafted myself the wrist. And so I made some improvement, right? So right now I'm sitting at about 590, a little less than 590. And it's going smoothly. So yesterday, or rather 2 days ago, I decided I wanted to give my best and started to learn Outlaw, as I mentioned. And it turns out that Outlaw is hard as fuck, or at least is hard in my book is hard as fuck. So right now I'm gonna just chill here, show you my single target rotation, what I've been practicing in the last 2 days, and then I'm gonna just give you my thoughts and tell you what I think about the class and just call it. Today is going to be a quick video. Alright, so basically the class works this way. You have a few buffs that you have to pre-cast before the pool. So you have Roll the Bones, then you have your Adrenaline Rush, and then you have your Ghostly Strike and your Slice and Dice. Once you have casted all of these, you can then basically get into your rotation. Your rotation is made of 2 different windows. You have your no cooldown window, let's call it like this, where you basically have to use your ambush that sometimes turns your sinister strike that sometimes turns into ambush to build combo points, and then you're going to be using dispatch to consume the combo points. Sometimes there are two procs that occur between these two skills, so pistol shot and ambush, and whenever you get the proc, you basically use the proc to build more efficiently your combo points, and then you spend your combo points to cast dispatch. This is basically what happens outside the cooldown. These actions basically reduce the cooldowns of your biggest cooldowns. Sorry for the wordplay right there. It allows you to get into and out, in and out of stealth much more frequently, and then acquiring this buff that goes by the name of subterfuge. And during the subterfuge, basically it happens. There is this talent right here that says crackshot. Between the eyes has no cooldown and also dispatches the target for 50% of the normal damage when used from stealth. So basically what you want to do is get those windows, then those subterfuge windows, then building 5 combo points and spending your combo points to cast free between the eyes, free buffed between the eyes. Then when Vanish is in cooldown again, you're going to be spamming your normal rotation to reduce the cooldown of Vanish, rinse and repeat. And then basically this is how Outlaw works. Now it is much simpler in theory than it is in practice, or at least that's how it's feeling to me. But yeah, that is, I think it's challenging and I think it's fun, honestly. It's like a mini game, and I'm actually having fun. Okay, so as I was saying, this is the rotation. Alright, so basically that was the rotation. I made a few mistakes here and there, but again, as I mentioned a few seconds again, I'm practicing, right? So that's what I've been trying to do, and it kept out at about 500 or 550. Honestly, I didn't notice, but yeah, it's looking correct. We have between the eyes on top, fate-bound chain, fate-bound coins, tails on the second place, and then third we have ambush, which is correct, but it wasn't yesterday when I started practicing for the first time. My between the eyes rotation was fucking terrible, right? So I'm starting to understand a few things, and here's my consideration on Rogue. First of all, you probably noticed that I just only showed you the single target, and that's because this class only has one rotation, a single target, and then when you want to play on multiple target, you just basically cast this skill right here. You cast Blade Flurry. As you can see, strikes up to 8 nearby targets for 70k physical damage and causes your single target attacks to also strike up to 7 additional nearby enemies for 50% of normal damage. So basically, it turns yourself into a beacon for cleave. So everything that is around you gets hit by the skills if you have activated that skill. When you are casting your skills. So if you take a look at here, I'm casting Blade Flurry right now, and you see, boom. Everything here is getting damaged by my skill. Now let the rotation go. It was terrible. I was just trying to show you what happens with Blade Flurry. So, which is a cool concept in my opinion. Also, it puts a lot of emphasis on you being in the proper position whenever you're casting Blade Flurry, and focusing on maximizing your damage more than focusing too much on the rotation, because the rotation is already complicated, right? If you had to think about min-maxing to the moon that rotation to include AoE elements or stuff like that, it would basically be a nightmare. So with the introduction of of this concept right here basically allows you to cleave and do AoE damage without changing that too much. That also makes for a very formidable tool in a raid, because whenever you have a fight that is not necessarily just a single target, like for instance, if you take a look at the WoW ad shit. Right here. So basically, if you take a look at the cheat sheet by WoW ad, you will notice that there are quite a few bosses that have a different damage pattern and not just single target. So the first one is single target. The second one is single target but with priority odds. The third one is against single target, and then we have burst AoE, and then we have odds when burst AoE. So basically, many of them, 2 targets here, and then finally priority odds on the last one. So there are a few situations in which just having access to one single talent, which is basically Blade Flurry, the skill plus this talent right here, Dancing Seal, strikes 3 additional enemies, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. Depending on the situation, if you need this or not, you are gonna be noticing one hell of a difference in your AoE damage or in your overall damage without changing much of your setup and changing much of your rotation too, which is a concept that I'm particularly enjoy. Also, additionally, this class with respect to assassination has a lot of movement. The fact that Fatebound allows you to cast twice the grappling hook or the giga duration of the sprint skill, or the fact that when you are in stealth you have access to taken by surprise, increasing your haste by 10%, and so basically allows you to move faster. All of this thing is making this class very, very dynamic. There is not a fixed rotation. You need to adjust your procs. There is not a different rotation for AoE. It's just the usage of a specific skill. Then you have a lot of movement, and then you have access to a lot of different defensive. You have this one for evasion, 100% evasion. You have this one for AoE damage. You then have some sort of iframe right here, and then since I'm a night elf, I have access to shadow meld, and then you have tricks of the trade if you want to redirect the threat that you have on yourself, and then you have shadow step if you want to just move behind the target and get stealthed, apparently. So all of this stuff is it's quite a lot of fun, to be fair, and I'm having a giga good time on this class. At the same time, I suck. So I had to realize how bad I am and how much easier it is to play Demon Hunter. And when you're used to Demon Hunter and Augmentation Evoker, to be fair, and you think that playing those classes means playing DPS to the fullest, well, you're wrong. It's not like they're bad classes. I know that there is a lot of people that hate on the Augmentation Evoker. Personally, I love it. But other than that, the real point is optimizing and playing a class like this one, and I suppose other classes like Enhancement Shaman or Arcane Mage and so on and so forth. It's a whole different game, man. It's really a whole different game. So yeah, the plans for this week are keep on practicing and getting better at the rotation, and being a bit more natural with my rotation, with my skills, with my toolkit. I have made myself this kind of a second week aura right here, and so that I can track my cooldown easier. And then I have placed a few sound effects here and there so that I remember to cast things, because for instance I always forget to cast Blade Flurry. No matter how important that is, I just forget, right? So my purpose, the purpose of the week is just improving and feeling to the point where the playing Outlaw Rogue will feel natural. And at the same time, I would like to get another 3 bosses of the Heroic Run so that I can get my Vault. Now for the closing thoughts, something happened this week, or rather today. We had like an hotfix tonight that changed the delves and made them so much harder. So my getting process, it's at an alt. I had to slow down quite a lot because I still had my 3 coffer keys on this character and many others on the other characters, and I was planning on using them with the same ease that I did up until yesterday, but then it was changed and now it's so much harder. So it's gonna take a little while. Yes, but I think it's important to mention that I also dropped myself this thing right here, which is a curio that basically gets me access to one of the tier sets. So that one plus my armor right there that I should be able to get with the catalyst, and I should get myself the first 2 pieces. And if I recall correctly, the Outlaw Rogue tier set should be one of the strongest tier sets. I think it has been nerfed, but it still should be one of the strongest tier sets. So let me check. If yeah, I do have a charge, and I should be able to catalyze it, and together with the Curio, I should have access to the two piece tier set, which should be a great improvement. Right now I'm averaging on my single target test, something that goes between 500 and 550, and I hope for the next week to be around 700. Also between improving my gear and improving my rotation. So yeah, that would be the goal. So guys, for today it was all. The gym bro right here, my favorite gym bro for this week, is improving quite a lot. I'm having a ton of fun. I had big expectations for this expansion, and it's not letting me down at all. I'm having a ton of fun, and yeah, I'll see you in another one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Remember to subscribe, like, that whole thing right there, right? It's not my thing yet, but eventually it will be. So if you can, you're going to be making me a big favor. So that's all, guys. Have fun. I'll see you in another one.